Hi guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm really excited to make this video for you guys. Forewarning, this might be boring to some of you. All I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about my daily routine. I was inspired to do this video recently because of an Emma Chamberlain podcast that I had seen where she went through her daily routine. And what this made me realize was how important a daily routine is to the success of something. Which makes a lot of sense because consistency equals success. So for example, if you want to lose weight, you have to eat healthy every day and work out every day. If you want a successful business, you have to put a little bit of your energy to it every day. If you want to write a story, you have to write a little bit of it every day. So routine is really, I think, really important for success. In the past few months, I have not had a routine. It's been really crazy. So I was really inspired to set up a good daily routine, and now I want to share it with you guys. Hopefully this inspires you to look at your daily routine and kind of go through it, but I'm just going to start off and tell you what I do every day in detail. I would also like to mention before we start that I'm a student right now. I'm in grad school, so this is kind of my routine as a student. Obviously every day is a little bit different, and we're going to talk about those like exceptions to my daily routine after I go through my daily routine. So yes, this is not like every single day, but this is like the perfect routine. Like this is my ideal kind of daily routine. So the first thing I do every day is I wake up around 8 a.m. I would honestly love to start waking up around 7 a.m. That's something I would love to change about my routine. But 8 a.m. is just like my body naturally wakes up and it gives me a good amount of time to do everything throughout the day. After I wake up, the first thing I like to do is give my little doggy here kisses and cuddles. It's one of my favorite times in the morning. Throughout the night, he usually starts the night sleeping like in his bed or like not close to me, but then throughout the night he gets super close to me. He sticks to me. Usually in the morning he's either like stuck to my side or like on my pillow or something. Ooh, he has something to say. He sees somebody. I think he loves it too. Every morning I just grab him and I give him kisses and cuddles and I say good morning, baby, and I say Sob Becher, which means, oh, you're on my mic, which means good morning in Farsi. So every morning we do our little cuddle routine, and that is how I start my day. After cuddling with my doggy, I like to go to the bathroom, you know, like a person. After going to the bathroom, and this is kind of a new thing for me, is I weigh myself. Now, for years, I did not weigh myself because it's just triggering. I hate weighing myself, right? But recently, I realized I really do want to lose a little bit of weight, and it's really hard for me because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. So the typical things people do to lose weight doesn't really work for me. So usually for people, it's like if you eat less calories than what you exude, that's how you lose weight. But for people with PCOS, there's a lot of underlying issues with like your metabolism and all this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out the best things to do for my body. And this has included weighing myself every day just to make sure, just to keep an eye on, you know, the progress or the lack of progress and kind of see what's working, what's not working. So yes, after the bathroom, I like to weigh myself. And then I put on some clothes. Now, nothing cute. I don't get ready or anything, but like maybe some pajama pants. I put on my robe. I put on like a t-shirt and something, basically just to take my dog out to walk. So yes, I put on my little clothes. And then I also like to open this window in the morning. I usually like to crack it unless it's too cold or too hot. A little crack in the window. I open the blinds. That kind of refreshes me. And then I take my dog for his morning walk. I love our little morning walk too because it's a great way to start your day. I just do like 10 minutes around my apartment complex and you kind of feel the weather. You wake up, you get a little sun, and obviously it's great for him. So I love our morning walks. It's a great way to just kind of wake up physically and mentally. After we go for our walk and we come back, that is when I make/check my lists. So I am obsessed with lists. If you look on my notes app, it is just list after list, lists of things to do, lists of things to buy, lists of like certain meals like need this kind of food, this kind of food. I love lists. My brain would not function properly if I don't have like a list. So once we get back from our walk, that is when I look at my list for the day. I usually have a list of things from the day before, so I'll check off any of those things that have been done. I look at what I need to do and like kind of prioritize that. Recently too, I've been obsessed with sticky notes. This is very new. But I love sticky notes. I put sticky notes all over the place. One in my bedside table. I have one here in my living room. I just have them all over the place. So if something pops in my mind, I grab it, I make the list, and then you can just, obviously tear off the sticky note, throw it away for the next day. So sticky notes have been great to help me be like, okay, this is what I need to do today. And then rip it off next day, whatever. And then I also like to make lists for example, if I'm going somewhere that day and I need to remember a few things, I make a list for that. I make a list of like the home stuff I need to do. So not just like school or work, but like whatever, just the daily tasks of the day. I make my list, I look at it, and that kind of helps me guide like how I'm going to do my day. So after looking at my list, usually I do school stuff at this time. So usually I'll sit back down either on this couch or sometimes I even get back into bed and I do like an hour or two of school things. Now for me, I'm in graduate school and like 75% of what we have to do is read chapters. There is so much reading in graduate school and I'm doing online school, so you really have to keep up with it yourself. So a lot of the times this morning couple of hours is just me reading chapters, going through notes, obviously school stuff. If I have like an assignment due that day, I try to prioritize the assignment, but generally just to keep up every day, it's a lot of reading and taking notes and all of that. If I don't have any schoolwork to do, which sometimes I just don't really have that much to do, then I will use this time for other things like either ice skating or going and doing a work type of thing or going on a long walk. But we'll get to the exceptions, like I said, after all of that. But yeah, usually I'm doing schoolwork during that time, but sometimes I'll do something else during that time. So after a couple of hours of, doing stuff, getting my stuff together, doing schoolwork, then I like to get up and clean up around the house. Usually for me, this is dishes and laundry. I hate doing dishes. I literally always have dishes to do. Or just any like messes around the house, just kind of cleaning up, getting ready for the day, cleaning up last night's dinner, last night activities, whatever. I generally do that kind of stuff during this time. After I've cleaned up around the house, the next step is scent. So I'm a big scent girl. I love having my house smell really good. Not only do I like it for like other people or for just like having my house smell good, it's really like a part of my routine that kind of wakes me up and gets me going in the day. I have an oil diffuser that this is the time that like I'll turn my oil diffuser on, I'll turn a candle on, I'll turn some incense, I'll burn an incense stick, something like that. I like to set the mood of the day with some scent in the home. And then this is my first chill time of the day. So usually between like 11 and 12, this is when this is gonna happen. I don't eat breakfast, as you have noticed. So up until now, I haven't really eaten anything. And maybe I'll drink some water or whatever, but around 11 or 12, I usually have like an early lunch, brunch, I guess, sort of deal. And so this is when that time is. So I like to chill. I like to put on some TV. Right now it's been Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, definitely top 3. And I've been rewatching that and I really love it. So I'll put on some Bob's Burgers. I get my lunch together. Generally my lunch is something I made the night before or something from the freezer or something like that. I don't really cook during lunchtime usually. It's usually more just whatever is going on in the fridge. So then after lunch, it's generally like 12 or 1 at this point. I take my dog for another really quick walk. I'm not going to say the word to get him excited, but I take him for a walk. Just a small one. And then when we get back from our walk, this is generally a time that I will take a quick nap. And Of everything in my daily routine, like the things I want to change, first of all, I kind of want to consume a little bit less and create a little bit more, which I'll get to again at the end of this. But I do watch a lot of TV and I do chill a little bit more than I would like to. But I would like to change that. And I would also like to change this part. I take a nap pretty much every day. And while it's lovely and I am obsessed with my daily nap, it just takes those hours away from you to do stuff you need to do. So yeah, but right now in my life, I take like usually about an hour of a nap after lunch. But ideally, I would love to taper out that nap throughout time. But again, up until this point in my adult life, like I've been a working adult, like I've had jobs, obviously, whatever. And this is the first time in my adult life that like I'm a student and that's my priority. So I'm really enjoying that. Like because I don't think it'll ever come back to me a time in my adult life, unless like I'm married and someone's financially supporting me. I don't think this kind of time will come back where I prioritize like me and school versus like working and other people and family and all of that. So I'm really just trying to enjoy that. So I take my nap. But ideally, I would like to X out that nap and do more productive stuff. After my nap though, this is a time where I'll wake up and then I do a little bit more school stuff if I have more school stuff to do, or if there's anything left to do around the house, cleaning wise or errands wise. This is usually when I do that. And then after that, I like to take my dog for a long walk. This is when I really like to get his energy out. So generally, I'll just take him around the apartment complex for a little quick walk. But this is the time of day I like to take him for like 20-30 minutes, either to a park or like a neighborhood or something, and really get his energy out. After that, I will bring him back home, and then I myself like to continue on and take a really, really long walk. I am really trying to get my 10,000 steps in every day. Like that's my move goal for right now. And he can't handle walking that much. So I'll walk him, bring him back, and then usually I go for another like hour and a half to finish off those steps. There's also a library really close to me, like 5-minute walk from me. So sometimes like I'll walk there to do some schoolwork if I need like a shift in scenery, or, you know, just like if I really need to get serious about it and sit like at a table with a bunch of other people, and you know what I mean? Like sometimes a shift in setting just kind of helps get stuff going. So sometimes I'll walk to the library as well. If the weather's not good, which where I live, some days it's really cold, some days it's way too hot. Like if it's not fun to be outside, then instead of my long walk, I like to do a short kind of workout kind of thing at the gym in my apartment complex. But I don't really do like intense workouts or anything, because I would like for my workouts to happen every single day. And I know that if I do something like an hour HIIT workout or something like that, like I'm not going to do that every day. I might do something like that once or twice a week, but I'm trying to consistently move. So for me, it's either a long walk or like a short kind of workout or some short weight training or something like that. I love summers too, especially because I love to swim and I love to be outside. So generally in the summer, this is easier for me to do, like move. So after my long walk, depending on how sweaty I got, I might shower. But if the weather's nice and I didn't really sweat that much, then I usually leave my shower for right before bed. But then after that, this is when I will cook dinner or order dinner. I love DoorDash, I'm not even gonna lie. I've been a lot better this year about ordering food in than previously. Like previously it was 3 or 4 times a week probably that I would order stuff, if I'm being realistic. Maybe like 2 to 4 times a week that I would order something. Now it's like super occasionally that I'll order a meal on DoorDash, like maybe once a week, maybe once every other week. But I still use DoorDash for grocery delivery primarily. So yeah, if I need some sort of groceries or whatever, I order them from DoorDash at this time. But yeah, this is when I cook dinner or whatever, which a lot of the times if I'm cooking and I I'm able to control my dinner. It's some sort of protein, some sort of like light carb, and some sort of vegetable. So like chicken, mashed potatoes, and vegetable, or like steak, fries, and asparagus, you know, many combinations of that. One of my favorites is salmon, sweet potato, and broccoli. That's the kind of stuff that I generally like to eat. And then while I'm eating dinner, this is also a time for me to chill again, kind of like lunchtime. I love to put on a show, eat my dinner while I'm watching a show. That's honestly how I grew up, which you can judge that and think it's weird or bad, but I personally love, I love eating dinner in front of the TV. I just do. I know it's not healthy, but it's just my favorite thing to do is veg out and eat and just enjoy my life. So that's what I do while I'm eating dinners. Binge more TV. So after dinner and after like relaxing a little bit more in the day, this is when I like to do my creative thing for the day. So I went through a really hard period these past few months, which I'll discuss a little bit more after I'm through my daily routine. But during this period, I really neglected a lot of sides of me, and particularly my creative side was just not existent. So in order to get that back, I kind of have made myself a little creativity schedule where every day I try to do something different creative. Sometimes like it'll be consecutively the same thing day after day. Like it doesn't have to be different, but this just helps me make sure I have even 30 minutes a day to do something creative. So for example, for me, I love to do puzzles. I love to play the piano. I like to write. Sometimes I like to edit videos or make TikToks, not as much anymore, but I'm getting a little bit back into it. I like to paint. I like to do ballet. I like to figure skate. I like to read tarot. Sometimes I'll do yoga like here in my living room. Sometimes I try to meditate. But yeah, something creative. After dinner, I like to have some time to do that. And if it's something like a puzzle or painting or whatever, I usually do that while I'm watching TV. But I shouldn't. Like it should be a time of no TV and just creativeness. But sometimes it's a mix, okay? I particularly love puzzles. This is actually a puzzle, and there's a bunch of puzzles on my wall. I love doing puzzles. It's mentally stimulating, and it gets me in this like flow, and it's my easiest way to get into a flow state is by doing a puzzle, which I want to get better at getting into a flow state, because when you get into work and school and all of that stuff, it just goes. It's way easier to do. So doing a puzzle really helps me hone that flow state skill. Once I'm done with doing my hobby for the day, I will take my dog for his last little walk. This is usually the quickest one of the day, just to get his little pees out at the end of the night. Which, by the way, I didn't even add him to my routine, but I like to cook for him. I cook dinner for him, and I usually give him dinner with myself. And then he has dry food that he eats throughout the day, and he has a pill that he has to eat, and I have a pill that I have to eat now, so we eat them at the same time. But yeah, I'll take him for his last walk. And then when I get back, depending on my energy is really what will happen next. So if I haven't showered, maybe I'll shower now. I like to end my day with a little bit of fruit and maybe some tea, like some decaffeinated, like sleepy time tea or something. And sometimes like I want to chill a little bit more in front of the TV, whatever, don't judge me. Sometimes I play video games or whatever. Either I shower and then have my tea and fruit and finish the night, or I have my tea and fruit and then I shower and go to bed. It varies. But ideally, like I love showering as the last thing I do in the day. That's my ideal situation because it just feels good. You shower, you wash your face, you brush your teeth in the shower, and you go into your bed super clean. I just love that. That is my favorite way to do it. But obviously sometimes like if I'm super sweaty, like I'm not just gonna sit around until the end of the day. So yeah, after my tea and fruit, I will use these I don't know what it's called. It's called the Doctor's, like these little teeth pick floss things. I don't usually use like floss, but every day I do floss with the little Doctor's floss sticks, I guess. And then I brush my teeth and I do my skincare, which if I'm it depends on how bad my acne is. If I'm having some acne or clogged pores, happening, then I love to use Panoxylin. I'll add a picture of it here. Ding! I like to use this generally, but then if I'm not really struggling with acne or clogged pores, then I'll use something else. This random face wash I bought from Sprouts, whatever. Then I like to use this Paula's Choice toner thing. This is one of the best skincare secrets or whatever I could ever give anybody. I tell everybody to use this, and a lot of the times they don't listen, which is fine because my skin's better than theirs. But this, I'll put a picture of it right here. This is so good for your skin. Like, genuinely, this will change your skin. I literally promise. Unless you have super duper sensitive skin, it just changes your skin. It really makes your skin so soft. I can't even explain it. And it takes away like a lot of the bumps and I have a lot of clogged pores, so this has helped with that. Actually, literally immensely. And I recommend just taking a little bit of it, pouring it into your hand, and then doing this rather than like wiping it with a cotton swab, because you want all that goodness just straight in your skin, I promise. But yeah, I do that, and then I use a little bit of Differin. This is also kind of varies. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I used to do it every single night, but I feel like my skin's in a pretty good place right now, so it's like varies. To when my skin's really bad, I'll do a little bit of Differin too. And then just a bunch of moisturizer. Sometimes I do eye cream, sometimes I just use the moisturizer under my eye, but that's my skincare. And then generally I'm in bed by 11. This is when I deep dive. So I feel like the literal one consistent thing my whole life in my schedule has been deep diving right before bed. I have been doing this for fucking ever. I don't know, since the internet existed, since I had like an iPod Touch. Like, I just, right before bed for about an hour, I deep dive. Like, I start Googling just, I don't even know what. Like, if I watched a movie or something that day, I usually Google about that, or just random questions, or I go to Reddit and just read Reddit posts. Like, it's so interesting where my nightly deep dive gets me. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, for example, I'll start Googling about a movie, and then they talk about a certain actor. I start Googling about that actor, and then I read about something that happened to that actor, so I Google about that. It just goes, it keeps going, and usually it ends at a very different place than it began. But yes, nightly I am on Google or Reddit deep diving about something or another. And then usually by midnight is when I start to actually try to go to sleep. And then I wake up at 8 a.m. and start all over. Literally, if you watch this video, was it interesting to you? Again, I loved Emma's video, and I would be super interested in a video like this, so that's why I made it. But that's my daily routine, guys. Thanks for watching that. You'll notice that I didn't mention social media or social media scrolling. That's because I'm really not a scroller. Like, I really am not. I can honestly say that I never really have been. Like, I'll check social media, but like, I'm not on there for more than 5 minutes. Genuinely, like 100%. Sometimes especially during like when I'm lying in bed, I like to go through my friends' Instagram stories and like the first few posts I see on Instagram. And sometimes I go through YouTube shorts. I get sucked into YouTube shorts sometimes. A lot of my friends will send me videos and memes, so sometimes I go through those and watch those. But I really don't scroll. Like, I really don't like doing it. I am more of a poster. I've always been like this. Like, hush, serious. I'm talking about my daily routine. I am definitely more of a post something and get the fuck off the platform kind of a girl. And I used to watch YouTube a lot too, just in general. Like, I used to be on YouTube all the time. I would spend hours and hours watching YouTube videos. But recently there's just less content on YouTube, so sometimes, like, I'll go on YouTube and watch some stuff, add some stuff to my watch later, but generally I don't watch YouTube that much. I watch podcasts sometimes, especially when I'm driving. I like to listen to podcasts from YouTube, or when I'm showering. Like, when I wash my hair, it takes a long time. It takes like an hour. So that's when I put a YouTube video on in the shower. But yeah, like, YouTube and social media, isn't a huge part of my day. I'm definitely more of a TV person, and I think I always have been, and that's really healthy, and I love it. I love that I don't go on Instagram a lot, and it's been literal years since I've been like this. Like, I just don't like to scroll. But yeah, occasionally, sure, I'll get sucked into TikTok or YouTube Shorts these days. I get really sucked into. Also, something you will notice is I don't wear a lot of makeup throughout the week, generally because I don't really go many places. I do love doing my makeup, especially like on weekends, if I'm going to dinner, if I'm going out, like I do love to do the whole thing. But throughout the week, not a lot of makeup. I do kind of what you see here, which is I like to do sunscreen, blush, maybe a tinted lip gloss or a little bit of a lip color, and then I curl my eyelashes and I make my hair like presentable, but I don't wear makeup throughout the week generally unless there's a reason. And I want to tell you guys about the wellness wheel. So two things kind of inspired this video. Number one is the wellness wheel. It's something that I learned through my graduate program. I'm in counseling school to be like a counselor, like a therapist, whatever. So this is something I learned that really has helped me. Is basically what you do is you list 8 things that are like the most important things to you. So it can be like, you know, friends, family, love, your body, like physical health, creativity, financial stability. These are just some that were on mine. And then you kind of rate how you're doing in those things. So for example, like relationship, how is you and your spouse doing from 0 to 10? Or family, creativity, like how are you doing? Like how much energy are you giving to that section? And when I did this, I really realized like there are certain sections of my life I'm giving way too much to and certain that I'm not giving enough. So you want all of the numbers on your wellness wheel to be even. You want them to all be 6s or 5s or whatever. So it's a wheel, it's turning. But if you're giving 10 to one place and then like 1 to another place, you really see like, oh, I need to give more time to this. And that's where I saw that like I don't give enough time to creativity, and so I made the shift. So I think a wellness wheel is a great way to start looking kind of at your daily routine and seeing what you need to add and maybe what you need to omit. Maybe you're like, for example, for months, I've been doing way too much vegging out and just not doing shit. And so I needed to omit a little bit of that and add a little bit more productiveness. So the wellness wheel, I highly recommend doing that. And then you can do it like every few months just to check in on yourself as well. Google it, the wellness wheel, so you get a better idea. And then also, like I mentioned, Emma Chamberlain's podcast really inspired me to do this. And it's interesting because something she talked about in that video, this is so meta, but she talked about a video she had watched which told her about creating versus consuming. And basically it was like, stop consuming as much and start creating. So stop scrolling, stop watching TV, stop doing that. And instead of doing that stuff, use that time to create. It's so interesting too how this stuff spreads. So she was inspired by that. And so she shared it, and now I'm inspired by it. But yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit better about this because I definitely still consume a little bit more than I would like to. Like I find myself watching TV for hours and hours or napping or whatever. And I would love to give a little bit more of that time to being creative. That's just a concept I wanted to bring up as well, is like watch how much you consume and watch how much you're putting out in the world, even if it's just work or hanging out with your family, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like creative, fun stuff for yourself, but consume less and do more, pretty much that was so inspiring to me. I was like, oh, facts. All right, so I want to finish off this video just by talking about the exceptions for me to my daily routine, because like I said, this is like how I wish my day would go, and sometimes it absolutely doesn't go this way because of the random things that happen, or every day is just a little bit different. So the biggest exceptions for me, number one is my sister and her life. I will summarize this briefly because me and my sister are definitely going to talk about this in detail. Like we have to sit down and tell you the whole story. But my sister's gone through something really hard. Essentially, she has a baby. Her baby's almost 8 months old now, but baby is terminal. She's on hospice. She probably won't make it in life. I'm not even going to get into that in this video, but my sister's been going through a really hard time. And that shifted my life as well, my priorities, my emotions. It's affected me too, because we're very close, especially as Persians. Like, we're just really close to our family. So my sister's been going through a really hard time, and I have been helping her a lot. A lot of the times in the mornings, I go and I help her with the baby so she can get a little bit of rest, or sometimes I sleep over at her house so I can help her with the baby throughout the night. So obviously that throws a wrench in my little daily routine sometimes, but it's very fulfilling for me, and I love obviously hanging out with my niece, especially because our time is limited, which is awful. And the only reason I'm not crying is because of the amount of acceptance and amount of time that we've been going through this. But yeah, I do go to my sister's house and help her a lot. I go to my mom's house a lot, just to hang out with her or help her with different things, or she helps me with my dog a lot if I'm really busy. I like to go to my mom's house. I also recently got back into figure skating. So I used to figure skate when I was a little girl, and I got back into doing it recently, which has been so much fun, so fulfilling, and really random. Honestly, this is because of YouTube Shorts, because like I said, sometimes I scroll YouTube Shorts and it started showing me a lot of these adults that started figure skating as an adult. And I used to live in LA, and I moved back home recently because of everything happening with my sister. And in LA, it's really easy to find a lot of fun adult classes. So I loved to do gymnastics in LA. But where I live now, it's hard to find a lot of really fun adult classes. I mean, obviously they exist. There's like yoga and like workout classes, but I'm talking about more like recreational, like fun, like childlike stuff. So figure skating is one of those things that I was like, okay, I can do this here. And I kind of did it in the past, so I kind of have a base, I'm not starting from level 0. So I've been figure skating about once or twice a week. I like to go and practice by myself, and then once every other week I have a coach that is helping me learn how to do things like turn and jump and stuff like that. So that's something that is a little bit different in the days sometimes. I also take ballet on Fridays. This is kind of more so to enhance the figure skating, because figure skating and ballet really go hand in hand with like the balance and the strength and flexibility needed. So I love to do that. That's a lot of fun for me. And then occasionally I work. Like I said, generally I try to focus on school first, but sometimes I have extra time, and obviously I need extra money as much as possible. So sometimes I work. I worked in the TV industry for a couple of years, and if a TV job comes through where I live, I love to work on those. And those kind of vary from being like sometimes one day to sometimes 1 week or 2 weeks. So once those jobs come along, I kind of shift my schedule to work. I also substitute teach on my free times, which I absolutely love. I really love doing it. It just really works well for me because I can pick, like if I know I'm having a freer day, I can pick to substitute teach on that time. I can pick the grade level that I'm working with, and I can also do half days, which I love. It just works really well for my schedule. It's like from 12 to 3, I'll go work a little bit, hang out with the kids, make a little bit of money. So I really, honest to God, love substitute teaching. Sometimes I have specific plans with specific people that are visiting or something, and that will throw a wrench in my own personal routine. Sometimes I have coffee or caffeine, which you will notice that usually in my daily routine, there's no like coffee or caffeine. And that's because when I do drink it, I'm like, it works. Like I am awake, which is fine. But like I said, I usually like to take a nap. So if I have coffee, I'm not taking a nap. So if I'm busier in the day, that's generally when I'll drink some coffee, or like if I'm working super early or have a long drive or something like that, then I'll have some caffeine and power through that time that I usually nap. So that kind of changes my schedule. And then very occasionally, I like to do hardcore workouts, like very occasionally. Like I'll take a hot yoga class or like some sort of group exercise, or I just go really hard at the gym for like an hour or so. Because usually, like, again, I like low impact workouts or like shorter workouts, but occasionally I'll throw in something hardcore. And honestly, like, ballet and ice skating they're not hardcore exercises, but they're definitely like exercises. Like I feel it. I feel it the next day for sure. And then sometimes I like to take day trips, which obviously that's gonna shift schedule. And then weekends, I don't follow this schedule very well. On weekends, I still like to get my 10,000 steps, and obviously I still take care of my dog and all of that stuff. But on the weekend, it's a little bit more kind of all over the place, especially for me because I love, traveling and having fun on the weekends. And I travel a lot in general, and obviously that shifts the daily routine as well. But I've been just chatting for so long, and let me tell you, this has been so fun. I have loved filming this video, and literally don't think anyone's going to watch it. I really don't think anyone's, especially up to this point, going to watch. If you are watching up to this point, please comment below and say, I watched the whole video and I liked it. It has been really fun making this. So honestly, even just for myself, because like I said, like there's not going to be another time in my life that I'm a student and I'm able to just kind of do what I want to do. Like once I start working, that's going to obviously shift this routine like insane. So I really wanted to document my routine right now, and I kind of want to keep it updated every few years. And I hope I inspired you to kind of look at your daily routine and decide what's important and what's not, what you can omit and what you can keep, and just make awesome, healthy choices. And I need to make better choices too sometimes. I need to chill less and work more, but I'm talking too much. Love you. Bye.